Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Adam Castro,
And my name is Andrew Castro.
and we are the Cast Bros. Welcome to another episode. And might I add that we are so excited for this episode because we haven't had one in a while. We haven't recorded an episode in way too long. How long has it been?
It
It's
has
been like,
been a few weeks, and that is my fault. I have been taking some personal time to go home as often as I can.
yeah. And when we're home together, we don't end up doing these episodes. You would think, like, let's get a high quality camera in the room. Let's sit down together. You
Put some
know,
effort into this.
Yeah, sit and make some coffee with some nice big mugs and like, with one leg over the other, kind of like, "Hey, Andrew, how are you doing today?" And nope, we don't do it. We just end up playing video games or watching movies, or like we did this last weekend, we ended up watching the Love and Death live stream. So we
Yes.
we actually enjoy our time together when we are together. Like what brothers do
Who,
that?
who would imagine? Yeah.
Who would imagine? But Andrew, how are things going over there at school right now?
I have been back at school since Wednesday. It's been 5 days, and I'm already ready to go back home. I I don't like it here. I don't like it, and it's not because of the school. The school's great. It's not because of the people. Love the people.
Love the people.
I just really want to be home. I love my family. I love my friends. I just miss being home. And Adam knows this about me. I am not a touchy feely person. I am not a uh, super emotional person on a regular basis, but I love me a good hug. And
And
I
I'm sure
get
you
that when I'm
haven't,
home.
I'm sure you haven't gotten very many these last couple of months. I don't think a lot of people have gotten their hugs these last couple of months.
Nope.
Everybody needs a hug every once in a while. Those free hug t-shirts did not age very well that we used to see in concerts where there'd just be some random guy with a free hug t-shirt there.
I remember
And
that, yeah.
you would see people, it was really creeper. You'd come to think of it now, it's
But
kind of creeper, but
no one second guessed it. Not a single person hesitated to go and hug that guy.
we need those shirts to come back once everyone's not afraid of hugging random people anymore.
See, the sad part
Um,
is someone would buy it as a joke, wear it, and be like, "Why are you trying to hug me, you weirdo?
yeah.
It's on your shirt." Um,
Yeah, that's when you need to be careful what shirts that you wear, especially that one, because people will come up to you. You will be that weirdo who wears a t-shirt, and you will find that weirdo who will come up to you and, and just be like, "Where do I apply?"
what about you, Adam? How's your week been?
It's been good. It's been great. A lot of practicing guitar, a lot of going through work and being with clients, working out, running more. We talked in the last episode about how Jillian and I went on that 10-mile hike, and shocker, we didn't do it again. Um, we might have hiked ourselves out on that one hike. It'll happen again, I'm sure. But a lot of working out, running, and funny enough, in the middle of being in between clients, when COVID-19 hit, as a personal trainer, they closed all the gyms up, and so we had to get a little creative. And I started visiting clients at like parks and in their home gyms. So
Nice.
as I'm going in between, I have to drive in between the clients because they're all at different locations. Thankfully, a lot of them are local, but I do have to drive just a little bit. Well, in between one of these drives, I end up getting pulled over. And if you know me, I'm a nervous guy. Okay, I do get nervous when I'm put
Really?
in. Yes. Okay. When I get pulled over, it's a very I get nervous. I get kind of shaky a little bit too because I don't like confrontation. I don't like being that guy who starts confrontation. I don't like being managed. And so when you get pulled over by a cop, it's like obvious that they are going to be watching everything that you do and every move that you make. And with everything going on right now in the news, it's just that much more important to be extra careful. And unfortunately, I'm not white supremacy over here.
And
So
no, the funny thing is, the way I'm imagining this in my mind, between the two of us, Adam is by far the more charismatic person. You don't want to be charismatic when you're getting pulled over. You
no,
don't
no,
you don't want to engage too much
no, no,
in
no.
those situations.
So I get pulled over. and he says that it's for speeding. I just got my front bumper replaced after a very long time of it not being replaced. But I just got the front bumper replaced, so the license plate wasn't on the front. So when he pulled me over, he pulled me over for speeding, and he pulled me over for not having the license plate in the front. I don't actually think I was speeding, for one. Definitely could get me on the bumper, but it's so funny. This guy really wanted to get me. Okay. I was even crossing this intersection that had a green light, crossed the intersection. It turned red, and this guy turned on his lights to get through the red light in the intersection to come and get to me. So he really wanted to catch me. Which sucks because, I just got this bumper replaced, and everybody says it's a BMW car, and everybody says, cops are out to get the BMW cars. And it turns out he seemed to be out to get me. So he pulls me over, and it's so funny, dude. It's so funny. So I'm sitting down here. He asked me for my license and my registration and proof of insurance, right? So I know where all that stuff is. But the problem is, I want to say we just recently got married, but it's almost been a year now. But Jaylene and I recently got married, and so we switched insurance. So I'm like an idiot looking for my insurance, and I'm holding the booklet where it's actually in. I'm looking for like State Farm, and it's not State Farm anymore because I'm not under the same insurance anymore. So I'm looking, and he sees me looking right at my insurance, and I'm looking for it. And he's like, isn't it right there? And I just feel so stupid. I look at it, and it's like, yep. You're right. Sorry. I'm sorry, sir. That is my proof of insurance right here. So I hand it to him to look at it. He looks at me and he's like, sir, have you had anything to drink lately? Have you smoked anything lately? And I'm like, no, sir, not at all.
No,
trying
sir,
to be very
I'm naturally this stupid. That's just my normal everyday. Not an airhead.
No. So and like I'm like, nope, not at all. And I'm trying to tell him like, no, I'm haven't had a drink, nothing, haven't smoked at all, no, not at all. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm sure. And I'm trying to be polite, trying to say sir, trying to say officer, all the things you're supposed to say. So he ends up bringing out his pen. I've got a pen right here. He ends up bringing out his pen. He's like, I want you to follow the tip of the pen right here, all the way to the left, all the way to the right. And I'm like, are you serious? Okay. To make matters worse, he's here, and the sun is right behind him. Okay. His son's right behind him. So I'm telling him, I'm like, excuse me, officer, I understand what you want me to do, but the sun is right behind you. The sun's in my eyes. So I'm like squinting, right? Sun's in my eyes. Can you please at least stand in the way of the sun so that I can actually see the pen? So he stands in the way of the sun, but right? You know that the sun still kind of like resonates out off of somebody's body, right? So I'm squinting as he's doing this, and he ends up going back to his car, coming back, and he says, have you ever been arrested before, sir? And I'm like, no, sir, I have not been arrested, never been arrested. No. So he's like, I'm going to need you to step out of the vehicle for me. So he puts me through the whole thing, man, steps out of the vehicle. I put my hands behind my back, walks me to the curb. He does not handcuff me. Okay. He doesn't handcuff me, but he tells me to put my hands behind my back. He checks me, asks me if there's any weapons in the car, or any weapons I should know about. And I'm like, you can search the whole car if you want to. I've got nothing. The only thing that may be considered a weapon is a little pocket knife in the trunk. That's it. Everything else is fitness equipment. So he sits me down on the curb, right?
You pull out your halo. I am a good boy. I know do the bad.
I mean, you don't want to say that, no, but you almost get this feeling of like, don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? And obviously, like, I was even wearing like a disciple shirt. Like, don't you see the shirt? Don't you know who I am?
I am a child of God.
No, but yeah. So he sits me down on the curb, right? And dude, so he brings out the pen again. He's like, I'm going to test. I'm going to do this again. I'm a certified this or that, right? He's telling me I'm certified to check to see if someone is intoxicated or not. And you're showing some signs of intoxication. So I'm just going to do this test on you again. I'm certified, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like thinking in my head, dude, I'm certified, not intoxicated. So he does the test with me again. And I promise you, this was like the funniest part is that he takes me out of the car, right? I'm sitting down here driving, right? And they stop, he's here. The sun is there. He takes me out of the car to sit on the curb to do this test. And the sun is in the exact same spot, dude. So I'm sitting down in the curb, right? My hands are behind my back, and I'm literally there like, sir, I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm not trying to make this difficult. But the sun is in the exact same spot for me. Left, right, behind me, anywhere is better than right here for me to do this test with you. Um, so he totally looks around, and he like he kind of wants to make it seem like I'm being difficult, but it's also a rational argument. So he can't actually do that. So he finally brings me to a different direction. I do the test, and then and then he goes back to the car. He looks at stuff. He looks at that I've got a bunch of energy drinks all over, and he's like, how many of those drinks do you drink per day? And I'm like, 2 or 3 in a day. And he gives me all this, caffeine advice, whatever. I eventually get out of the ticket. I tell him, look, I just got the bumper replaced. The screws are right there in the front. The license plate is in the trunk. It's obviously not the same color as the rest of the car, so if I can have a little grace on that, he lets me go. So, but that was just like, I'm shaking. Evidently my eyes were tired, and it was just a very interesting, experience, but I was polite. I called him sir and officer, even if I think that he was trying to exercise some unnecessary authority, even if I think he was trying to make my life difficult, even if there was any kind of racial whatever, I still was very polite to him, and I still, tried to be as proper as possible, and as not even proper, but just polite, I'm not guilty
And
of anything, so I
and
shouldn't act guilty of anything.
there's a couple of different ironies about this. One of which being, we know people on the force. We were given the talk by our dad, and this is something that we addressed early on in our podcast. If someone says we have to have the talk about how to act in front of a police officer, every father should give their children the talk on how to act with the police officer.
No matter what color you are, no matter, yeah.
It doesn't matter how many American flags you got on your car, it's going to get pulled over. But, and the second irony.
Didn't you see my not of this world sticker in the back? Come on.
The second irony with this is, I've had my driver's license for, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 years.
Whoa.
And I got pulled over for the first time.
What? Why? What'd you get pulled over for?
So I'm on the highway, and I'm calling Stephanie. Stephanie calls me when I'm on my long drives, makes it a little easier to stay awake.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going down on the I-10, and all of a sudden I see the lights go up behind me, and my heart sinks. Exactly. So then it's immediately, Steph, I have to call you back. Hung up. Didn't like, I felt bad.
Make sure the seatbelt's on. Make sure.
I didn't even give her a chance to say okay. I just like, babe, I'm gonna call you back. Hung up. I used the speaker in my car, so it's not like it was up to my ear. And then I start pulling over, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, I'm going 80. I don't know what could possibly like they need to pull me over for. There's other people on the highway going faster than me. What's going on? So then the guy finally comes up. I pull off to the side. It's a really weird pulling off on that highway because it's bumpy, half a lane of cement, and then rocks. We had to pull into the rocks.
You never know how to pull off to the side. I will say that. Like when they sound that you're like, okay, but like where do you want me to go here? Because there's no parking here. And then, but yeah,
it's in the middle of the street. Do you want me to stay in the middle of the street? I'm going to go somewhere else. So I pulled over, and in my head, I'm already like, okay, brake, park, turn off car, turn off lights, hands on the wheel. Don't move. Just don't do nothing. So then the guy comes up on my passenger side, knocks on the window, and I roll it down. He's like, is everything all right? And I'm thinking, no, I said, yeah, everything's going all right. And in my head, I'm going, well, you're here, so obviously not. You felt the need to pull me over, so obviously there's something that's not okay.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but it's something. So he asks, like, do you know why I pulled you over? Not a clue. Your headlight is out, And it turns out my right
Oh
headlight is
no.
out. And I couldn't tell because my car has this thing where if one of the headlights is out, it has a secondary light that shines just as bright, is in about the same space. I couldn't tell from driving the car. And that's not something everyone checks for. That's not something like, I'm going to go to the grocery store 2 blocks away. Let me check my lights first.
Yeah. Oh no.
So, so he tells me that my lights are going off. He has me turn them on so he can check them. He's like, yep, that one's out. I'm going to have to this, that, and the other thing. He asks for my driver's license. He doesn't ask me for my registration or my insurance or whatever. He just asks for my driver's license. He asks me where I'm going. I tell him, I'm going to Phoenix for school. Oh, Phoenix University? I'm in Grand Canyon.
No.
Not that one.
Not that one.
So he goes back, and
the good boy school. I go to the good boy school.
Private Christian affordable. So he goes back with my stuff. I turn my lights off, and I'm just sitting in silence in the dark with my hands on the wheel, and I'm just.
Yeah, no,
do I have a criminal record I don't know about? Is that why it's taking so long? Is this not the first time I've been pulled over? So then he comes back and he says, I'm not going to give you a ticket. This is considered a warning. And I'm going to give you a repair order. Or no, I'm going to give you a warning. He didn't say it was a repair order. I had to find out later that the paper he gave me was a repair order. And he just said, for the next 2 weeks, just get it fixed and you won't have an issue. So I was like, okay. I got it fixed. I had to do it myself. And then I found out that the paper that he gave me, I had to mail it in somewhere. And he didn't tell me that, and that scared the crap out of me. And I just got that done today.
Oh, nice.
So
was it, did you have to go to the station or anything, go to a station or anything, or?
That was the most frustrating part. When I found out that I didn't know what he had handed me, I went to the local police station in Phoenix, and it's closed. It was just closed. Their dispatch was open, but I'm not supposed to be in there. But their police station was closed. And I figured, okay, it's late. I got here late. Maybe that's why. So I looked up the piece of paper that he gave me, and it's not necessarily from the police department. It's from the Department of Public Safety, which is different, I guess. So their hours are Monday through Friday. So I thought, okay, Monday, today when we're recording this, I'll go down to the Department of Public Services. I go there, and they're completely closed.
Oh, man.
They don't let anyone inside. So everything that they do have to be handled online, by mail, or on the phone. Online, not helpful at all. On the phone, told you to go online. So I just...
They sent you through the circle, right?
So I just signed the document, went to the post office, put that in, and hopefully nothing bad happens because I just got that taken care of today. I don't know what's going to happen. Might bring it up again if it becomes an issue.
You will have a criminal record for the rest of your life. The next time you get pulled over, they're going to think you're some sort of...
It was not even a ticket. And from things that I looked up online, most of the public service repair orders, as long as it's just a repair order, most of them don't care.
Just, you just got to be like me, just don't worry about it. It goes away, that I told you, about my ticket that lasted over a year and a half, right? There was a ticket that I didn't pay and was able to not pay because I kept extending it, and then they didn't show up to the court date. And so I kept extending it, and it literally extended all the way to a year and a half until finally I ended up having to pay it. So I was at least able to postpone the payment. But yeah, it's never that big of a deal unless it is a big deal. And obviously you got to take care of it. But who would have thought that we would have gotten pulled over in the same week?
I am so disappointed in myself. But do you want to know the worst part? It was for something that I had no control over.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
This guy right here is a great driver. You are a great driver. Every time we're in the car, he tries to be very responsible with whoever's there. Make sure everybody's wearing their seatbelts.
Well, that's because if you don't wear your seatbelt, my car yells at me. So
he does not take lightly things that he doesn't take things lightly when it comes to safety, and even when it comes to even his rear camera, because Elijah and I tried to play a prank on him by putting a Five Nights at Freddy's picture in his rear view camera, thinking the next time he backs up, he's going to look at the picture and it's going to be Chica from Five Nights at Freddy's. And he didn't find that very funny. He was like, guys, I can't see when I back up. So take it off.
Well, in real time, I turn on my rear view mirror and I see the picture and I go take that
I,
off.
I would have liked the satisfaction of like,
I didn't jump. I
that
didn't
was
laugh.
good. It was
No,
good.
because it
No,
wasn't.
It was a
not
good
good.
joke.
It
It
was
was
not a
so
good joke.
good.
It would have been good if it made me jump. It made me laugh. It made me react at all, but it didn't.
It would have been funny. It
all
would,
it did was make me think, what's on my rear camera?
it would have actually been more fun if we did something like that to mom, and then she was like, "What is that?" Like,
yes, because she would have reacted.
Then it probably would have been more fun. But okay, yeah, we wasted the joke on you. Anyways, something else happened this last couple of weeks. This last month. Andrew, you are wearing a T-shirt. Thankfully, we're both wearing T-shirts. Otherwise, we'd cause some brothers to stumble. But you're wearing a very cool T-shirt there. By what band, sir?
7 Day Slumber.
That's right. And it's got the American flag. It's got Jesus. And what does the bottom say right there? One nation under God. Who got you that T-shirt, Andrew?
Adam got me that T-shirt at the most recent 7 Day Slumber concert. I am very thankful.
That's right. We said it. We said concert. Mm-hmm. It was a, how do you say it in Spanish? Concierto? I think, I don't know. I could be wrong. Sorry. At the recent 7 Day Slumber concert, 2021 concert, dare I say, live event with actual people there. So 7 Day Slumber is a Christian band that Andrew and I have grown up listening to, and they're an amazing rock group. They're awesome, and they've actually been one of those bands that have dipped their toes into the worship genre as well, playing rock versions of worship songs. But 7 Day Slumber has done it right. They've not only dipped their toes into the rock worship genre and made even worship albums, but they've maintained their rock band, genre as well, and continued to make rock music at the same time. So they've been in the best of both worlds, I would say, when it comes to Christian rock and also worship rock covers of songs. And they've got amazing messages. Their lead singer, Joseph Rojas, has an amazing testimony that every single time that they play live, he shares his testimony, whether it's his testimony of being saved or whether it's his testimony of things that he goes through in his life, his relationship with his father, his relationship with his family, his past addictions. All of those things are things that he talks about. His passion for reaching out to children in third world countries and making sure that they're provided for, people and children who have no food, making sure that they get that food. Yeah, they're just an amazing group, an amazing band. And they started what was called the West Coast Recovery Tour, which honestly I thought was just going to be like recovery from COVID-19. But it's so awesome. They weren't even focused on the COVID-19 at all. They came to the West Coast and they were focused on reaching out to people who were recovering from addictions. Like their message was recovery from addiction, and their set list was actually very focused on their songs talking about recovery, not wasting their life, chasing after God. A lot of their worship songs as well, Run to the Father, Waymaker, like very much geared towards helping people to realize that they can turn to God and turn to Jesus rather than their addictions and their sin. So an amazing group, an amazing artist, all together. So
and their concert, the last one that I went to, is still one of the memories that comes to the forefront of my mind when I think about live action concerts. More specifically, the last time that I saw 7 Day Slumber in concert, at least that I distinctly remember, because I also remember the speech that he gave, was when they were promoting the movie To Save a Life back in 2009. And that was using their message to say, these are the kind of struggles that people go through. And then it was they showed us an early promo of the movie. All of it was just, it wasn't necessarily that the movie portrayed their exact testimony or that they were just promoting it because they're Christian and it was a Christian movie. but that the message spoke to them in a way that they want to speak to other people as well.
Yeah. And that's them, that they are a band that they even said in their concert, like, you know, we're a Christian band, and people ask us, what does that mean? How can you do that? How can you be a Christian? He's like, we're a band that likes to sing about Jesus. It's really not that complicated, you know? And that's them. That's their story, their testimony. They just want to reach out to people, and whatever resources that they see are doing that, they align themselves with those things. And it's just been awesome to see. So while I was at one of these concerts, I was able to sneak in an interview with the bassist and the drummer, Ken Reed and Blaise Rojas. The lead singer's name is Joseph Rojas, and Blaise is his son. I really wanted to be able to talk to Joseph Rojas and actually get some in-depth information about his record label and all the things that he's trying to do for the Christian music industry as a whole. But unfortunately, the weather just wasn't really permitting. It was really, really windy. It was all the way out in Barstow, middle of nowhere, in this big old lot. And so a lot of dirt was being, you know, blown into his mouth and into his face while he was singing. So he needed some time to recover. You know, I didn't feel right about, you know, stealing him for an interview and having him talk for a long period of time. But Ken Reed, the bassist, and Blaise Rojas, his son, the drummer, were able to talk with me. And so we are going to be able to show you our very first Cash Bros interview. Here it is, Ken Reed and Blaise Rojas from Seventh-day Slumber. I'm here with Ken Reed and Blaise Rojas of Seventh-day Slumber. They're on their 2021 West Coast recovery tour. And I said that 2021. They're out touring right now, visiting churches, different venues. Right now we're at a drive-in theater, so it was a nice little mix of people coming up to in the crowd and also in the cars. How has this experience been, traveling and going into the West Coast, where it seems like there's a lot more restrictions due to the pandemic, a lot more restrictions due to closures, and, you know, people probably saying no to having bands and crowds coming over? How has this experience been coming to the West Coast?
It's been really good. We haven't been in the West Coast in a while. Man, I think we're only like 6 events into it. Like this is our 6th.
Yeah, this is only our 2nd show in California.
Yeah.
You guys are planning on going from the beginning of, I saw on the dates, beginning of February all the way to the end of March, 2 months straight.
Yeah, man. We're hitting it hard, man. It's kind of one of those, it sounds cliche, but we really are just kind of giving this to God. We are trusting Him, so we don't really know what to expect. The last tour was like that. We didn't really know if anybody, we didn't really care if anybody did show up, but we did care about, you know, we're trying to reach out to all the hurting and people that are struggling with any addictions. That was kind of our thing, you know, like, you know, we were talking about
people
this.
are still struggling, even
They are, man.
even more so now.
They are,
It
man.
doesn't just get put on pause, you know?
No.
So as you're traveling and going through different cities and everything, are you kind of seeing that response from people, like, thank God someone's coming and someone's, you know, reaching out and doing that right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's been really awesome. We've had a lot of awesome responses, and been able to meet so many different people. And we've also seen a lot of familiar faces of people who we've talked to in the past who are going through stuff again. And we've been able to talk to them, and they're just talking about how the pandemic has hurt so many people. It's like we've seen a rise of suicide and just for everyone. Like all different. There's like the veterans. There's 22 veterans a day were committing suicide, and now the number is so high that they don't even have an average because it's so crazy. And young too, because they don't have anywhere to go because they're so used to hanging out with their friends, or
They don't have any outlets.
they don't have any
basically,
outlets or anything.
and the media is it's advertising fear, and so, you know, a lot of the messages we get are, man, we're gonna die anyway, so just get it over with. Like, oh, hang on, man, there is hope, and, you know, don't do that.
A lot of Seventh-day Slumber songs, you know, speak to that kind of those emotions that people may be feeling, but I'm sure it's totally different when you guys show up and you guys bring that to life and say, no, these aren't songs that talk about these addictions and these emotions and feelings, but we actually want to hear your story. We actually want to know what you're going through.
How has the pandemic affected you guys personally?
Well, we were in the middle of a tour when it kind of all started. We were on tour with Stars Good In and Stephen Malcolm. And that tour got canceled halfway through. Basically, when everything was kind of blowing up, and nobody really knew anything about it. So we kind of had to, a lot of things were canceling and everything, so we had to kind of cancel that tour. So we were home for about 2 months.
What was it like hearing that first cancellation?
Man, my answer is different than Blaise, or I don't know about him, but like most people, I know a lot of people, it affected them pretty bad, and a lot of businesses went down because of it.
Yeah.
For me, our ministry is different. In 2019, my wife and I were home. All of us were home a total of 3 months probably. We're on the road so much, and I remember at the end of 2019, I said, "Babe, I don't want to go anywhere out of the country." We're a pretty spontaneous couple. We just go wherever. Like, I don't want to leave the country this year. 2020, we're staying home. I just want to be home. And it was an odd answered prayer, but we got to be home for 2 months.
This is the man to blame right here.
Yeah, sorry, man. I prayed for it, man. I prayed for it. Selfish, sorry. But no, man, we stayed home and just played video games for 2 months.
That's awesome.
My wife and I are huge gamers. It was a good time for it.
When was the switch from like staying home and like, I don't know if we're ever going to, or when the okay is going to be first on tour to like, we're doing this, we're going to go out, we're just going to, like you said, trust God and just go.
We got a message. The moment we found out that they were opening up the cities is when Joseph called me. He said, "Man, I really feel like God is telling me. It means I don't feel like I know. But God's telling me to go. We need to be out there now." And I said, "Here's the kicker, man. We're not supposed to charge anybody." I said, "Dude, he said, you can say no. You don't have to. You can say no to this." And he said, "But God's telling me this, and we need to be out." I said, "Dude, if God's telling me that, then I'm there. That's where I want to be. That's where we need to be. Let's go. Let's do this." And
you guys, did. There was no charge to the churches.
We did love offerings. That could mean $20 a night or whatever. Like it was, and you have to split that with however many people in us. Yeah. But man, it was the most rewarding few months for us, man. We made more money than that.
And mind you, like this is also we looked on the bands in town and saw that like you could see the fans who RSVPs and who looks up, and we would see like 4, we see like 8. Like you just don't know who's going to show up or who's going to be there. But it seems like location after location, venue after venue, it seems like there's people.
It just shows a lot of how much people are hurting, man. Yeah. And a lot of those weren't in it really for the concert, or I'm sure some of them were like, "I'm just ready to be out. I want to be out and just be out of the house."
Yeah.
But a lot of them were hurting, man. And we got to talk to a few of them and hear their stories, and it's heartbreaking stuff, man. But
a lot of people, especially like that have dealt with addiction and stuff in the past, and have been doing really good. But when the pandemic hit and everybody was at home, they had nothing else to do except they fell back into their addiction. And so a lot of people were struggling with that. And so we were able to talk to a lot of people who were they were telling us about how this concert, or they don't really call them concerts. They're just events that
ministry.
Say events.
Events,
No, like just that that day they really needed it, and it's just amazing hearing all the stuff that God's been doing through this ministry and everything. And it's because you'll have shows from 25 people all the way up to the other night we played in New Mexico, and there was 400 people. And so you'll have a big.
It varies.
It varies, but the thing that always is the same is that He brings whoever He needs to be there. So that's the cool thing, seeing every night is like, we never really know exactly what's going to happen or how many people are going to be there, but we're going to be playing to the same audience one every single night. And so that's been really cool though, seeing everything that God's been doing.
I grew up seeing Joe at the like festivals like Spirit West Coast over here on the West Coast.
That's before my time, man.
Well, and even the C28 free concert
Yep.
that they would do then, and it seems like the spirit is very similar that you guys are bringing here. It's just like we just want to reach people, we just want to reach out and preach the gospel. And Joe's lived a life. He's he's lived a big life, and God has brought him through so many things, and he just brings an amazing. God is using him. He's brought his testimony. Each one of you guys have brought your own testimonies, and it's amazing to see what you guys are doing. So, where are you guys going to next after tonight?
We'll be in Bakersfield.
Okay, awesome.
So I think we have a few more. I think is it Sonora, California? I'm not sure how to say it. It's something like that.
Okay.
But we have a few more shows in California, but tomorrow we'll be in Bakersfield.
And after this tour is done, are you guys taking a break, or you guys don't know yet?
We got a break, and it's a week long, and then we have another month. Yeah, we have. It's 4 shows in a row starting tonight.
Okay.
Then we have a day off, 2 days. And then we have another 9 days in a row, and then a day off. So we kind of have. There's not very many days off, and then we have a lot of shows. It's really awesome.
Okay.
So, but no, yeah, we're going all the way up until April 1st. And then we're going to be home for Easter and stuff.
Okay, awesome.
And then after that we have back out.
All right.
Stay busy, man.
Yeah. What can I know? You guys always say, like you guys, if you sponsor a child, you guys can get free this and that, or free T-shirts and free goodies and everything. But if someone's really feeling called to support you guys and what you're doing, what are the best ways to do that? Where do we find you? Seventh Day Slumber, you guys personally, and how do we support what you guys are doing as a ministry as a man?
Yeah, we all have social media stuff. You ever want to reach out to us, we all read our messages. We all have the band page and everything, so we all do all like donations and stuff.
As far as need goes, man, like we always we ask for prayer, and it's the most powerful thing you can do. I know people tend to forget how powerful prayer is, man, and pray for safety and for all of us. We have families, like our whole family's on that bus, and our bus driver that he's alert, and continue to bring hurting people or whoever that needs to hear something about Jesus, like whatever that is. Pray for that those people would show up. And we hear stories all the time where, man, I was about to kill myself today, and a friend of mine called and said, hey, dude, there's a concert going, you should go. And he didn't even say it was a Christian concert. He was just a concert. He's like, I guess I'll check it out. But then he got saved, and he's still alive. And so we want to pray for moments like that. That's to me, that's the most important one.
Yeah.
So praise God for everything you guys do. Tambourine and Blaise, Rojas of 7 Day Slumber. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, man.
And that was just the first of what we hope to be many interviews. We look forward to reaching out to bands and for bands to reach out to us. Very much look forward to bringing that to you guys. We hope for this to be a long podcast where we're able to not only show you the kind of music we grew up with, but also bring their takes on their amazing music.
Yeah, and to get their message out there, what they talked about and everything, like we want to share that with as many people as possible. So thank you guys again for sharing your thoughts and giving why you guys are doing what you do. And we find it only fitting that we do a reaction to a 7th Day Slumber song. And so this is one of their newest songs that they've released on their newest album, Closer to Chaos, and it's called Man Down. Here it is. By the way, this song, they say in their video, Man Down is a powerful song about PTSD. It gives the listener and viewer a small glimpse into the emotions and thoughts that many who struggle with PTSD experience.
It's just a dream.
My reality crawling out of this night.
And
I'd like to say first and foremost that I think I can speak for both me and Adam wholeheartedly that we support our troops.
yeah.
It's heart-wrenching to know the kind of things that they go through. I myself have a very, very close friend who is currently serving in the Navy, and I try to contact him as often as I can, knowing that even just being overseas, even just having that kind of solitude where your family's gone, the people you're close to are gone, and you have to put your life in the hands of the handful of people around you, even that can be a struggle.
Yeah.
So knowing the kind of ties that they have, and to ever lose one of them, to have that person you put your life in their hands, to have them taken from you, I can't even imagine what that must be like.
Yeah. It says like the line, and we'll talk a lot about the lyrics after the song, but that line, your insanity is my reality. The things that you think are just crazy and insane, like, wow, I can't believe that could happen ever. Like that is their reality every single day that they live through. Those memories that are constantly there day by day for them. And, I think that the music even kind of is that, like, it almost sounds kind of marching, like they just keep going through day by day. It's marching through. You hear that drums kind of like don 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 don, like it's just this dragging of like another day and another day and another day. That's just what they go through. That's just what life is like for them, feeling those emotions and feeling those things.
And not just telling them that I can't imagine what you're going through. I can't imagine what that would be like. But at the very beginning of this video, it sounds like a wife waking up her husband. Hey, it's just a dream. That doesn't go away when they come home. When they come home, it still stays with them.
Yeah. Let's keep listening.
I watch the hourglass, counting down till my senses start to fade, running terrified through a house of lies, every room full of thoughts I can't escape. Cycle plays again, I can't let it win, come too far just to throw it all away, hanging on for one more day. Crying for help, but I can't make a sound. Trapped inside my own mind. Man down, we've got a man down. Crying for help, but I can't make a sound. Trapped inside my own mind. I'm losing control of all my emotions. I can't eat, I can't sleep, still I keep holding on. I'm bleeding out.
still down. Still down. Oh, he's moving that way. He's going that way. They're moving left.
Wow.
And just like we said, it doesn't matter when they come home, that stays with them. And it's a struggle that they continuously have to go through. That chorus, we've got a man down, crying for help. It's not just on the battlefield. That's when they come home.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
can't let the war stay overseas. They can't disassociate this trauma that they went through, the bleeding out, the pain, everything that they had to go through over there. They're still going through it.
And that man down, just that idea that when you say that there's a man down, you know, he's shot, he's hurt, needs help, you know, that call for like, hey, we've got a man down. You think of someone going to their rescue, going to their aid, and these wounds are there for so many people. They are down, you know, whether that's spiritually or emotionally or physically, even relationally, socially, like they need that assistance. They need that help. These lines, dude, these lines are crazy. That come out, especially at the end. Man down, we've got a man down, crying for help, but I can't make a sound, trapped inside my own mind. I'm losing control of all my emotions. I can't eat. I can't sleep. Still, I keep holding on. I'm bleeding out. We've got a man down. Like, you know, and maybe you're someone who struggles with these same things, either from PTSD, from being out and serving the country, or maybe even from something else. Maybe these lines are not just even specific to that. They can be for anyone who struggles with those feelings of like, you are a man down, you're a woman down who needs assistance and needs help. And I love what did you catch that in the bridge when he says, what can wash away the scars of yesterday? Really gives you that feeling of like, what can wash away my sins? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. And that song feels like a call to that, and that's the answer to a lot of this.
Followed by him saying that he's on his knees and crying out to God.
Yeah,
that's the last resort for some people. Some people, they need God in their lives to get over those kind of things. Some people need therapy. Some people do need the help of those around them, loved ones.
Yeah, and as we've kind of gone through this culture of, there's so many people who are making mental health awareness a thing, you know, and bringing it out into the light, because there are a lot of people who struggle with suicidal thoughts or struggle with pain, especially during this coronavirus time. There's people who struggle with not knowing what to do in their isolation and not knowing who to be and not knowing any of those things. And they'll turn to things like therapists, or they'll turn to things like psychologists, or they'll turn to things like counselors, turn to things like their friends, or licensed professionals, and all these other things to try to seek help. And as I've seen organizations rise up to try to help with all these things, you know, I've really thought, like, what is the church doing for this? What is the church doing for these people who are struggling with these thoughts and these emotions? Why isn't the church reaching out to those people? And obviously, like, thank God for bands like Seventh-day Slumber who bring this out to the light, and they're pointing people in the right direction. I've seen them have these conversations with people. I've seen them reach out and show God's love through those conversations, or through their music, or through that understanding of knowing, hey, I see you. I understand what you're going through. Bands like even Disciple, who share that same kind of message. I see you. You're not invisible, and you're not invisible to God. But yeah, what is the church doing to try to reach out to these people and to make a difference in their lives and hearts?
This is another one of the situations where we have to separate the church, the people, and the church, the building, where some churches, the buildings don't have support groups, don't have places for people to go. But us as individuals, us as part of God's church,
yeah,
we should be willing to reach out to people who need that kind of help.
Our Father loves to say that we're the hands and feet, right? We're the hands and feet that go and that do and that help. And if we are the body, we talked about this in another song, right? If we are the body, why aren't his arms reaching? Why aren't his hands healing and his words teaching? Why aren't people reaching out to these? Why aren't Christians in the church reaching out to these people and telling them about the love and forgiveness and aid that God gives, the peace that can come with God and Jesus Christ, of knowing that that all the things that they went through, even if they're not fully healed from it, it it is really sad. It is really, really sad to think that this may be the reality for the rest of their lives. It's really sad to think that they may not in this life ever find peace from those memories and from those pains and those wounds. But even that second verse where it says the cycle plays again, I can't let it win. I've come too far just to throw it all away, hanging on for one more day. There has to be a hope that Jesus can take these people and take their past, what they've gone through, what they've been put through, what they've seen, what they've done, like all of these things that can just scar someone so much. There's got to be hope that they can come out of that, and that Jesus can take those broken things and make something beautiful out of them. I don't even want to lie and say that Jesus could or would just come in and make all things better, make it all go away and completely take it away. I'm sure he's done that for a lot of people, and I'm sure that has the power to do that for so many people, but it's not guaranteed. But I do believe that Jesus Christ does an amazing job, and God does an amazing job of taking broken things and making something beautiful out of them.
And that's something that people misconstrue or don't understand about the promise of Jesus. The path of the Christian isn't always happy. It's not a promise that you'll always be happy. It's not a promise that life will get easier. It's not a promise that everything will magically make sense. It's a promise of peace, and it's a promise of joy. Many people find joy in struggling, not because they enjoy it, but because they know this isn't the end. What I'm going through right now, the struggles that I have to suffer here on earth, they're not eternal. And what is eternal is what comes after. And I find joy knowing that my eternity will be spent with God and with Jesus. And I find peace knowing that whatever happens here, the mark that I leave stays here while I go into heaven.
Yeah. And I do want to just say this too, like all of this imagery and Blaise Rojas, the drummer, Josiah Prince, who is actually a guitarist for Disciple, and Joseph Rojas wrote this song. And I just think that they did an amazing job with the lyrics of capturing the emotions of so many people, hearing the screams deep inside of me like a siren piercing through my brain, crawling outside of this nightmare every day, haunted memories, trapped inside my own mind, the aftermath. I watch the hourglass counting down till my senses start to fade, running terrified through a house of lies, every room filled of thoughts I can't escape. Like these are such amazing images that you can identify with if you experience these things. And whether that is from serving our country, or whether that's from dealing with past abuse or going through addictions, and abusing yourself in those ways, like we all can take some of these emotions or have felt a piece of this and understand what it's like, at least in small pieces, what it's like to feel trapped inside our own minds. So I think they did an amazing job of capturing that, and I really do hope that it encourages us to realize that there are people out there who feel this way. That that's one of the reasons why I love bands like Seventh Day Slumber, love bands like Disciple. One of the reasons why, like, I want to make it my goal to write songs that reach out to people in that way, that who can identify with those emotions. Because as much as we love worship music and worshiping God, we also understand that as the children of God, we are still here on the earth and can experience pain and can experience loss, and that the world, people in the world who are looking to the church and wanting to see some understanding of that, that we need to show them that we do understand that pain. We do understand the things that they go through and the things that they feel, but that turning to their addictions isn't the answer, or turning to drugs isn't the answer, or turning to things that numb their pain isn't the answer, or turning to taking your own life isn't the answer. The answer is to realize that sin has consequences in anyone's life, whether that be through war, whether that be through the addictions, whether that be through sins, or whether that be through people who do bad things. Sin has consequences, and we are living in a world full of the consequences of sin. And I, even this week, as I was listening to some music that really touched on that topic, I kind of realized, like, maybe we're not meant to understand the darkness, the darkness of sin in the world. Maybe we're never meant to understand fully darkness in and of itself. Maybe we weren't meant to look so hard at the darkness, but maybe we were meant to, in our experience of it, look towards God and look to the light, look towards that redemption that Christ offers us after we die, that redemption and that hope that we have in him, that after the pain and the consequences of this world, that we will rise again with him in heaven, and that we will be in the presence of God. Like there is no other thing that we need to focus our lives on other than that hope, and helping other people to see that hope, Yeah, well, Seventh Day Slumber, and specifically the writers of the song, Blaise, Rojas, Joseph Rojas, Josiah Prince, like we said, like, this is what they do. This is what they want to do with their ministry and what they want to do as a band. And I'm really, really glad that I was able to go to one of their concerts and experience that and to see that happen. I'm excited for the next time that we get to go to a concert, whenever that's going to be. It's slowly starting to happen, man. It's and for this very reason, we want it to happen, because these songs connect with real people, and it's such a different experience for them to hear this song through a live stream than it is for the band to actually go out to them, visit them, and share this message with them, and then talk with them afterwards and share their testimony and hear their stories and pray with each other. And like, it's a whole thing that you just can't be a part of unless you're actually there. And that's what we want to see those bands start to do. And that's what they want to do. That's what their calling is. You ask any one of these bands, like, what did you think was going to happen when you started this band? And I think all of them would never mention the fame or the record sales or the impact that they would make as far as their music style and their genre and everything. Like Disciple, Seventh Day Slumber, Cutlass, all these bands that we love and we've grown up with, their main goal as Christian bands was to minister to these people for Christ, and to minister to these people and be Christ to them, to share Christ with them and share that their love and the testimony of God, what God has done in their lives, so that they could help them to turn to God and turn to Jesus. So I am hoping that we get to go to these concerts again and experience that. I don't know when the next time they're going to be in the West Coast is. They did those couple,
Seventh Day
and
Slumber was in Phoenix for a night.
Yeah.
This past, I don't remember what day, but I wasn't able to go to that one either. I felt kind of bad about that, but it was local. Yeah.
They're good. They're going around, man. And you can't really knock anybody for not going either, because I get it. People are afraid with the coronavirus going on, and I understand. I get it. The concerts that they did, you could have the choice to be social distance. You could even stay in your car if you wanted to. Or you could go in and actually talk with people and actually be close to them. So people had the freedom to choose what they want. If you ever visit Joseph Rojas's Facebook page, you'll get a very clear picture of what he believes politically. But yeah, as far as their ministry with Seventh Day Slumber, great group of guys, love them, absolutely love them. And I do want to see them, along with other bands, continue to do this. Bands like Disciple, bands like Seventh Day Slumber, Cutlass, Spoken, Amongst the Giants, these bands that are trying to get out there and reach people. Bands that are a part of Rockfest Records, The Protest, Zana, bands.
And we've made it very clear how we feel about COVID and everything else that's going on. And me personally, I wear the mask when I need to. I felt like a concert was too much. I think I'll go to the movie theater. I'll go to the drive-in. I felt like a concert. I know Adam. He would have told me, "Oh, we can just stay in the car." And then as soon as we get there, get out of the car. We're gonna go over here now. So,
Probably
a movie theater, perfectly good for something that I would be willing to do. That being
Oh,
said,
don't even get me started about the movie theaters, man. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to go over to you to actually go to a movie theater because everything in California right now is closed still. And, Anthony Fauci, Dr. Fauci, has made the announcement that even if you're vaccinated, even if you've got the vaccinations and you're clear and everything, you should still wear a mask and you still shouldn't dine in. And the words I was not looking forward to him saying were you should still not go to the movie theaters or have them open. So there's a movie that's coming out, and I'm mad at you, Andrew, because we haven't done this episode as soon as I thought we were going to do it. And I'm mad at myself too, because I told you that I'd wait for you and that we'd wait for each other to watch the trailer for this. And it's already been like 2 weeks.
He told me he wanted us to watch it together. So I said, okay. And then when I was home, he said, "Hey, let's watch it. Let's watch." And I said, I thought we were going to do it for a podcast episode because that way we get our genuine first reactions. So blame me and you, whatever. All of you, our audience, are the ones that are going to get to benefit.
Yeah, you're going to get our
passionate reactions.
You're going to get our true reaction to the brand new official trailer for insert. That's right. There is a new Mortal Kombat movie that is coming out, and it's coming out in April. We're super excited. This is a franchise that I grew up with, and Andrew got his butt kicked by me on these video games.
Okay.
All of growing up.
It was our relationship with Mortal Kombat was a combination of him knowing all of the combos and refusing to teach me any of them, nor telling me how to find out what they were.
What was the post? What was the? Oh no! What did you send me today? What did you send me?
It was a post that had said we were so happy with so little, and it was like Mortal Kombat 4 or Deadly Alliance, something like that.
Yeah. No. The other one where
I texted Adam and I sent him a play-by-play, him at 16 years old and me at 8 years old, and it was the following conversation: does a combo move? Hey, how did you do that? How did I do what? Does the exact same combo move again? How did you do that? I don't know. As he continued to kick my butt, knowing full well how to do the combo and refusing to teach me because it felt good. It felt good to beat up your 7.
It was like this. It was like I would be like, we'd be playing, right? And be like, down, back, square, whatever, right? Down, back, square. Hey, how did you do that? How did I do what? Down, back, square. That. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. And it took you a while to find out how to do it. So
it took me a while to figure out where the special moves menu was. And then I started beating you with your own favorite character. And now I am the Scorpion Master.
Yeah. So Mortal Kombat is basically a fighting video game. It's a fighting game. It is all gore, blood, and
it's put on the map for its blood and gore.
Yes. It was a topic of controversy because of the violence that it portrayed in like 1990. I think it came out in 1993 or 1992, something.
I have no clue.
In the 1990s, and it was being blamed.
Than that, actually, I think it was earlier than that.
It might have been earlier, but it was being blamed for violence, and it was gonna make murderers out of kids and all that fun stuff that people thought. But it was a fun game, and I grew up with it on the Super Nintendo. Later on had games for the PlayStation 2. And if you've ever heard the phrases like "finish him" or "get over here," or the toasty, or the famous, all of that has come from Mortal Kombat. So so there was a great movie that came out, and I think the movie did come out in 1993. I'll find out for sure. But there was a great movie. It is so far, in my opinion, the number one best video game movie ever.
I want to disagree with you, but I can't off the top of my head.
Okay, it gave us pretty much everything we were asking for. All the best characters, all the best fights. You got Johnny Cage versus Scorpion. You got Liu Kang versus Sub-Zero. You got Liu Kang versus Reptile, and Reptile in his best form. He was wearing the green ninja suit.
The original ninja version of Reptile.
I am all about the original ninja suit. Okay, I'm all about the original suit. I hate that they made him an actual lizard. I don't like it at all.
There was a canonical reason for that, though.
I understand there's a canonical reason for it. There's a story, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I like the original suit. Whenever I play MK, whatever it was, 9 or something,
9.
I am always switching the costume back to the original because I hate that they made him an actual lizard. Anyways, that is the best. You go on YouTube right now. And you look up Mortal Kombat movie, Liu Kang versus Reptile, and it will be the best fight scene you've ever seen in your life.
Mm-hmm. And that's for
the
a
best
movie that
music, with the best music ever to a fight scene that you'll ever hear in your life. We're all about that. Absolutely. I would work out to that music every day if I didn't think it was so weird. But so the storyline basically is that there are these realms and Earths, and Earth is one of those realms, Earth realm, if you will. And then there's Outworld, and then there's other worlds and all this stuff, whatever. But basically, Outworld is trying to take over Earth realm, and the only defense that they have is this competition called Mortal Kombat. You can only raid another realm if you've won this competition 10 times in a row. Mm-hmm. And so the story kicks in when they've won 9 times. And so Earth really has to win this time. They really have to win this time. Otherwise it's the end of the world. Just so happens we'll never get the rest of the 9 stories or anything, or the 9 characters, maybe some of them, but not all of them.
See, something they actually never address in all of this is that, yes, this was the 10th generation of them having the Mortal Kombat tournaments, but then there'd still be the next 10 generations. They'd still have to.
They'd still have to keep fighting.
We never get there, but
So the story kicks in on the 10th competition where Earthrealm really needs to win, and so you get these characters: Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Sonya Blade, and Kano. I think it's just Kano, right? Just Kano. Mm-hmm. So you start off with just those 6 characters. Yeah, and it's just 6 characters. That's what Andrew meant. We had so little, and we're so happy. 6 characters. That's it. And obviously that extended out every game. We ended up with Molina and Katana, and you get you get a Reptile, and you got Ermac, and you get all these different characters that are all part of the story. Jade, all these characters that are part of the story, and so it ended up being this movie that they created, and it was a great movie. Then they came out with a sequel called Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and it sucked.
It was supposed to be a take on the second game where there was a separate tournament. It was supposed to replace the existing one because they wanted to cheat. Instead of doing it 10 times, they only wanted to do it once. Basically pulling a switcheroo.
Basically, Outworld was using Dominion, and that was what the problem was. So, no, I'm just kidding. Basically, Outworld just said, forget these rules. We're just going to invade anyways. And then the people who were supposed to enforce the rules didn't do anything about it. Mm-hmm. So that was the story with the second one, which kind of didn't make sense. But whatever. It was a dumb movie because the story was horrible. They had some of the same actors and some of them not the same actors. And so that really ruined things. And then they let a kindergartner do their CGI. And it was just it's known for being some of the worst CGI in any movie, mm-hmm. with also some of the worst music put to a fight scene ever.
seen everything.
Again, the kindergartner did the CGI, and then a kindergartner went on a piano and started jumping up and down on it during one of the fight scenes. It was not a good movie. Now, Andrew and I will still watch it from time to time because it's still like Wolverine with X-Men, even if it's a bad Wolverine movie, you're still going to watch it because it's got Hugh Jackman in it and it's Wolverine. So that's kind of how we feel with like Liu Kang and everybody like that. But it's been I think almost 15 years, I want to say. It's been, I don't know if it was, when was Annihilation done? It's been a long time. So Mortal Kombat, Annihilation
we've
was
watched every storyline video. We've watched every single gameplay. We know the Mortal Kombat story, the canonical movie story, the canonical video game story from beginning to reboot to end.
Dude, okay. So Mortal Kombat Annihilation came out in 1997. We have not had a legit Mortal Kombat movie in over 23 years. Wow. Almost 25 years, dude. So enter
you're
in.
Old. You're old.
I know, man. It's happening. So enter in this new Mortal Kombat reboot. So we're excited for this movie. If you can't tell, we love this franchise. We want only good things for it, and we want to not be disappointed. I have such high expectations, and I know it's gonna bite me in the butt because nothing can meet my expectations right now. I already know it's not going to meet my expectations, but I just hope that it will do something close to my expectations so that I can be happy to see this movie.
But we felt the same way about MK11, and when it finally came out, we enjoyed it.
Yes, yeah. So the last video game that they put out. So here it is. I'm excited. Andrew, are you excited?
I'm excited.
Here is our official, full, brand spanking new reaction to the brand new Mortal Kombat movie coming out in 2021. Here it is.
First learned about this 7 years ago. On a mission in Brazil to capture a wanted fugitive. When we got there, it tortured our unit in seconds. The target had superhuman abilities. It had the same marking you do, Cole.
It's a birthmark.
What do you mean?
He was born with it.
It's not a birthmark, Cole. It means you've been chosen.
Throughout history, different cultures all over the world.
I mean, if you were born with it.
Reference a great tournament of champions. That dragon marking? I think it's an invitation to fight for something known. As Mortal Kombat.
These are your champions.
I'm Sonya. That's Kano.
I'm Liu Kang.
Name's Jax.
Kung Lao. Lord Raiden. The fate of Earth is in our hands.
No matter how many of my people you put in the ground, we will not fail. Kill them.
I am Sub-Zero.
Yes!
Get over here!
Finish them!
Oh my gosh. We get our Sub-Zero versus Scorpion fight. We get a new way that Jax loses his arms. I liked that. I liked all of what was going on there. We got all the gore that we know and love from this franchise.
Dude,
That was awesome. Also, is Kano supposed to be a good guy in this one?
I guess Kano's gonna be a good guy, dude. Oh man, I've never been so excited for a movie. I have to say that I don't think I've ever been so excited for a movie. Oh man, that is everything we could hope for. I saw some of the pictures before the actual trailer, so I saw some of the characters and I thought like, oh, they look so cheesy. I don't know. What do I feel about
It looks
this?
like
You
they
know,
played
like
him off beautifully.
it does. They did. It looks like they did a great job. I think so far, obviously Sub-Zero and Scorpion look amazing. They look great, but I think Jax is going to be my favorite character. I don't know.
Looks a little over the top.
Melina looked a little over the top, but Jax looks awesome. They did the CGI with the arms like really well. I love that they made him look huge, which is great because that is Jax, you know. Sub-Zero looks like he's going to be like a huge player in this game because he just looks like he's kicking everybody's butt.
Movie?
Well, yes, I know it's a movie, but just I mean, like, you know, I know. Well, obviously you can understand what I mean. I'm just saying, like, he's going to be a big major player in the movie. And he looks like he's just kicking everybody's butt. I don't know if he's going to be like the villain or if he's going to be a good guy. It looks like he's going to be a villain.
See, I don't want to spoil anything for our viewers who don't know all of the story that we do, but there is a good chance that it's very similar to the original story between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, where Quan Chi took Sub-Zero's identity and ransacked people and blamed it on Sub-Zero.
Yeah. There's some deception. There's some deception in the storyline and some deadly alliances that happen. And so yeah, if you
that one. That was But no, I this looks very promising. I am excited. I just hope with everything that we just saw, it looks amazing. It looks awesome. You can tell that they're going to be fighting both on Earthrealm and in Outworld. But I hope they don't try to shove all of the characters in there, because we've seen how that happens with the games and it doesn't end well.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
If they just give us the characters that we see in that trailer and allot enough time for us to care about them,
yeah,
I think it'll be a beautiful movie.
I mean, you mentioned like, hey, is Kano a good guy? I think Kano is going to start off as a good guy. I bet you he's going to turn sides somewhere along the line. For
those of you who don't know, he's a mercenary in the games and in the earlier movie,
right,
where he fights for the highest bidder. And while he might be human, he might be from Earthrealm, he fights for the other side just because they pay him more.
Right. So that's his character. So I almost assume he's going to turn sides towards the end. It looks like Shao Kahn is in the movie. It looks like Goro is in the movie. Goro was like the big bad, one of the big bads from the first movie. Shang Tsung looks like he's in the movie.
That was the only poor special effects in the original movie was Goro, because how with that technology were you going to make a four-armed man who's
well, they used an animatronic. They used an
animatronic, and there was a dude on top of him. The torso looked weird, but they're gonna fully flesh him out in CGI. That's gonna look awesome.
Yeah, and they're gonna make him probably kick some butt. I can see him dominating people with that kind of look that he's got. So, man, I'm excited. I think it will meet my expectations. At least I hope it does. And if you're turned off by all the blood and gore and everything, like they did say that they're going to go there for this movie. It's going to be bloody, it's going to be gory and everything, which is, you know, not a surprise because the games are very much like that. It's, you know, I honestly do think that it's not realistic to be able to be that bloody and gory and to be able to walk away from that. That's the not realistic side of this, but also you have to think realistically that if they had that much power and if they had that much weapons and everything and they attacked them, that it would be that gory and it would be that way. So yeah. Oh dude, I'm excited for that movie. We got to see it in the movie theater.
Absolutely.
It's going to have to be a movie theater.
There's no other way to.
If movie theaters are not open here in California, I will drive 5 hours to you, and we are going to go to your local movie theaters. I checked, they are open. It's going to happen. So we're watching this opening night. I better mark your calendar, because opening night we are watching this movie, and we will wear our masks.
Let's see if we can find us some scorpion masks.
Yes, we will dress up. We will do whatever we need to. We're definitely going to watch that movie in the theater.
Are we going to try to go for accuracy? Because I don't know if I can pull off a Bo Wright show. I don't know.
All right, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave us a 5-star rating and review. We're excited about sharing all of these things with you. Like we've always talked about, the Christian music, the messages, our very first interview, our very first trailer reaction. Also, there's a lot of firsts in this episode. Our very first time that Andrew's gotten pulled over. And we want to share these experiences with you, the people. So if you enjoy all that, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Be sure to visit our website, www.thecastbros.com. Go to our social media page. Everything is at The Cast Bros, and give us a follow there. Till next time, take care now.
Bye-bye.